it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you.
Hey, who are you?
Emily.
And what are we doing today, Emery?
Hairstyles. What?
What kind of video are we showing?
Emily.
Emery's what?
Wanda.
Emery's hairstyles. Nope, not Emery's chemistry lab. Emmy, no, thank you. What are we showing Emmy's hairstyles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Today we have to share with you 5 hairstyles for wiggly toddlers like Emery, huh?
Yeah.
We're going to show you 5 different hairstyles and different ways that you can modify them to fit your toddler. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I like to do with any hairstyle, especially on a curly-haired little girl like Emery, is I like to make sure that I spray it down with a little bit of water to make her hair easier to separate into different sections and also easier to get to lay flat and secure. As you can see, this is going to be a theme for a lot of the hairstyles that we do here with Emery. She's pretty wiggly, so we have to take this as it comes, and that's the key to success with any toddler hairstyle. So the first thing that I did was section this into with a straight part right down the middle, and then I'm adding 2 little half pigtails up here. This hairstyle is something that's super easy. It's a go-to in our house a lot. Emery likes it, and this one only takes about 5 minutes. So the trickiest part is to try and get the 2 sections lined up to be as close as possible. Perfection is not the key here, especially when the toddlers are as wiggly as Emery is. You'll see our little piggy tails are a little bit lopsided, but that's okay. So I flipped the camera around to show you the back, because now that we have those 2 little bunny ear pigtails in the front, we're going to part the hair all the way down all to the back of or to the nape of the neck, and I'm going to be sectioning off 2 more sections, one on either side of the hair. And I just try and make that as straight as possible, comb out any of the bumps, and then I will be adding an elastic to that after I pick up my wiggly toddler from the floor. Emery gets really excited to be able to pick out the colors of her elastics, so you'll see that she always comes up with a really cute pattern. When I added that section of hair, I included the section from the first ponytail. So it's just, it sort of looks like a little French, or it has the idea of like a French braid where you add more as the sections go on, except you're going to section all the hair off with, or secure all the sections with elastics. How many times can I say section, right? And then I'm going to finish off this hairstyle by adding the 3rd piece of hair into the pigtail. And when I do this, you can finish this any way you want. You can leave them as pigtails, you can add a braid, or you can do these cute little half like messy buns. That's what Emery picked today. I think I mentioned before, but Emery's go-to for hairstyles is to be able to look on Pinterest and pick which one she would like to try for the day. So that is all there is to this hairstyle. It's little pigtails with a little bit of spice. And so here you can see my cute little girl spinning in circles to show them off. On days when Emery's hair is especially tangly, I like to use this Suave Kids detangling spray. Emery really loves it because she calls it her Honest spray, because like most little girls, she is obsessed with Frozen. So this next hairstyle is a little bit more involved than the previous one. Still very easy to do. I'm convinced anybody can do it. And this is probably, I would have to say, my absolute favorite hairstyle that we do on Emery's hair. As you can see, her hair was pretty tangly this day, but she does a really great job as long as she has a distraction and a nice kiss at the end. She's so sweet and always wants me to kiss her head. And I always try and give her a break to run around when she needs it. And of course, I had to fix her tablet because all of the important things. So to start this hairstyle, you once again part the hair into pigtail sections. Now, like I said, as good as you can get it is good enough. Toddler hair doesn't have to be perfect to still be really super cute. And as always, this will not be perfect, but it still comes out great. So I section the one side of the hair that I'm not working with immediately off to the side. For this hairstyle, you really want to do that. So I take about a 2-inch section at the front of her hair, and I'm going to add that into a little elastic to make a tiny ponytail. Like I mentioned before, just try and make it as good as you can and as tight as you can. And that one you're going to want to move out of the way while you make your next section, which could be about the same size, between an 1.5 and 2 inches. And I'm going to secure that in an elastic as well. But this time I do not want to include the hair from the first elastic into this one. I want to make sure I leave that hair separate. This hairstyle is really cute because it's going to emulate a French braid without actually having to try and get these fine little baby hairs to stay in a French braid. So now you'll see there's two sections and a dancing toddler. So now I'll move on to my third section. Same width, about 1.5 to 2 inches. And this time, before I secure the elastic, I'm going to take my first section, which you can't see very well because my hand's in the way. You will be able to see it on the other side. But I will split that in half and wrap it around the second section to attach to the third section. Once again, I'm sorry if that's confusing. You will see better when I do the right hand side. So now we're moving on to the fourth section of hair, and once again about 1.5 to 2 inches, depending on how much hair you have to work with. And before you secure that, you're going to take the second section of hair, split that in two, wrap it around the third elastic, and attach it with the fourth. Now we're doing the same thing for this last fifth section. I'm taking the third section of hair, wrapping it around the fourth elastic after I've split it in two, and securing it in the fifth section. And then to finish off this side, I will be taking this fourth section of hair, splitting it in two, and securing it behind the fifth section, but making sure to include the fifth section to finish it all together. And of course, Eloise came into the frame and was crawling around, so Emery needed to join her sister. And then I just kind of fluff out my sections to make it look like a big, chunky, puffy braid. So once again, like I said, you're going to be able to see much clearer on this side what I'll do. So I'll try and talk through it. I'm sorry if this is confusing. It's just the best way that I know to describe it. So your first little section, you put in an elastic and kind of move it out of the way and forget about it. Add water as necessary to re-wet the hair. Now you're going to take your second 1.5 to 2 inch section of hair and secure that in an elastic. Make sure not to include the first section. Now we'll move on to our third section. And before we add our elastic to this, we're going to take the first section of hair, I slowed down here for you, and I'm going to split that into two even parts. Now I'll wrap that around the second elastic that I've secured, and I'll attach it to that new third section of hair that I just pulled up with my elastic. So you can see there it looks like a bubble around the outside of that second section. And then I'll move on to my fourth 1.5 to 2 inch section of hair. And when I go to add my elastic to this one, I'll make that same motion with the second section of hair. So I'll take my second section of hair and split it in two. wrap it around the third, and attach it to the fourth. So it definitely sounds a lot trickier than it actually is, and once you get the hang of it, I can do this hairstyle on Emery, wiggling and all, in about 10 minutes. So this one is a little bit more involved than the last one, but not too bad. Once again, split this section in two, wrap it around the next section, and attach it to that final section. And then to finish it off nice and neat, I'll take that previous section, split it in two, wrap it around, and tie it off. And then before I call the hairstyle finished, I'll just kind of pancake the sides. And that's what it looks like, all done. Like I said, this one is probably my absolute favorite. And once again, you can leave the ends however you want. For this next hairstyle, we're going to stray away from our pigtail trend and move on to something a little bit different. To start this hairstyle, you want a deep side part. It doesn't matter which side you start on, whichever you prefer, but you do want to make sure it's pretty far over. We're going to do a lot of vertical sections in this one instead of horizontal sections like we have been working with, so you want to make sure that you have enough hair to work with. And then you want to section off the hair at about the crown of the head. And I like to secure all of the hair that I'm not working with into an elastic just so it doesn't get tangled up. Now to start off, I'm going to take about a 1-inch section vertically. Once again, perfection is not the key. It's going to look beautiful even if it's not exactly perfect. And that vertical section that I just took, I'm then going to split into 3 horizontal sections. And the key to getting the best part as possible is just to keep combing out your pieces to make sure that you can see the line as well as you can. Like I said, it's never going to be perfect if you have a toddler who moves like I do, but that's okay. So I did 1-inch vertical section and 3 horizontal sections, just as even as that is. And I'm going to end up securing all of these into 3 little ponytails. I like to start with the middle one so I don't have to worry about any of the parts combining while I'm trying to fasten the other one. Once again, combing out all of the hair to make sure that I'm getting as smooth a ponytail as possible. And then I'll just secure that last one into a ponytail. And then I move all of those ponytails out of the way to work on my next vertical piece. You want this one to be about the same width, so about 1 inch, but this time you're only going to section this vertical slice into 2 pieces. You'll be securing those 2 pieces into elastics as well and adding hair from your previous 3 sections in. So to do that, what I did was take the entire first section of 3 and a half of the second section, 3 sections, and add it to my first ponytail. So you see there's a V, and I'll do the same with the last 2 remaining pieces of hair from the first group. I hope that makes sense. So you have your 3 ponytails, and you're going to split the middle of those 3 in half to make 2 ponytails for your second row. And then I'm working on my third vertical slice, where I'm going to be turning my 2 pieces, my 2 ponytails from the second vertical slice back into 3 ponytails. So your pattern will go 2 ponytails, or 3 ponytails, excuse me. Your pattern will go 3 ponytails, then 2 ponytails, then 3 ponytails. And to do that, I just do the reverse of what I did for the second section. So I took my first ponytail, split it in half, a little bit more in the first section toward the front and a little less in the middle. I secured the first section into an elastic and then added my little bit of hair left over and a little bit of hair from the second piece in the second row to make a second on my third row, and then the remaining piece from the second section of my second row to make my third piece of my third row. So once again, your pattern goes 3, 2, 3. And from there, you can secure it however you would like. This first way I'm showing you is by turning those 3 remaining ponytails into a braid. And so you can do this, and I'm going to show you how that looks in just a moment after I secure it. You'll be able to see what this looks like with her hair down and a cute little braid on the side. You can add bows or any sort of hair clips or embellishments that you like. Or if you would like to change it up a little bit and not add the braid on the side, you can go with our bonus option number 2, which is to secure all 3 of those into a little side ponytail and then section the back into pigtails. I think I prefer this way, but if you didn't want to do pigtails, I did want to include another option for you. Now we're back with another pigtail style because truthfully, is there anything cuter on little girls than pigtails? I don't think so. For any of you who know us in real life, Emery was bald until just about her first birthday, so I'm really loving the ability to be able to play with hair now that she has grown some. So once again, to start the pigtail section, just section your hair into 2 sides as well as you can. As you can see, Emery was especially wiggly on this day, so I do apologize if some of the camera angles or cuts look a little bit jumpy. Like I said, when she needs time away, I give her the time. There's no use fighting her to get her to sit still when she doesn't want to, because it's just going to end in both of us being frustrated. So I am securing the side I am not working on out of the way, and I am starting with horizontal sections again, just about the same as before. However large you want your section to be, about 1 inch, 2 inches in the front, and securing that first piece with an elastic. This one also does have a bonus style option at the end because today Emery had requested Halloween hair. So this is a great option for anybody looking for something creative to do with their child's hair for Halloween. So now I'm working on to my next section, and this time I want to make sure to add the first ponytail into my second one. So once again, growing the ponytails in size every time you add more hair. And once again, a little break. When she was ready to come back, then we moved into the third section. Same width, horizontal slice, and I secure all of that hair plus the previous hair into an elastic. Because we were going for Halloween hair, we went for some Halloween colors and some breaks in between to let Emery flop on the ground. Fourth horizontal slice, we decided to add all of the remaining hair in, plus the previous hair. Comb it out well to make sure there are no knots left over, and securing it all with an elastic. Once again, you can finish off the bottom in any way that you want. We left it as a ponytail. And now we're going to make these little bubble ponies by pulling out all of the hair in between the sections. As you can see, just a gentle tug. It doesn't hurt at all, just makes them have a little bit more texture, and kind of, if you do this as a ponytail style, which you can also do, it kind of makes it look like a little faux hawk, and it's really super cute. Repeating those steps on the right hand side of her head, one section at a time. And when I secure the elastic, I include the hair from the previous section. We did 4 sections all the way down, included a sprinting break. And yes, she is wearing Christmas pajamas requesting Halloween hairstyles. It's all right. And then pulling those sections apart to make them a little bit puffier. Now, to add a little bit of Halloween flair, we took this spider and I took an elastic and I held on to both sections of it, both sides of it, and I stretched it underneath one of the bubbles. And Emery tried to run away with my hands attached to her head. So we got her nice and situated again. And you can kind of see I have an elastic on each side of that bubble, and I'm just wrapping the elastic around the spider's legs. Emery was angry because she wanted to be done, and we were almost but she also wanted the spider. So the elastics held the spider in place securely enough so that she could run around and have a fun time. So there she is, and like I said, you can finish the ends off any way you want, braids, buns, or pigtails. You can add as many spiders as you want as well. And now we are on to our final style, and today required some honest spray or detangling spray and a little bit of water. We are also straying from our pigtail trend in this one, as Emery picked this style out special from Pinterest. It was our first time doing this style on her, and it was absolutely adorable. Her hair was extra knotty, so we had to try our best to get all of those knots out. I always try and start from the base of the hair and work my way up, so I'm not just pushing all of the knots into each other, and then doing a final few combs through just to make sure I've gotten everything before I try and work on any style, because otherwise you're just going to run into big giant messes. So to part your hair this time, after you make sure everything's all slicked back so you can see, and Emery was having a shoe problem. She wanted them on and then off and then on and then off. So you're going to see them around. Oh, also that is a cat toy mouse in the background. It is not a real mouse, even though sometimes it looks like one. So to make your parts for this one, you kind of want to make almost a horseshoe shape. So a deep side part on both sides and then horizontally across the crown of the back of the head. So almost like a little mini horseshoe or rectangle shape. And once again, as you know, don't worry about the parts being perfect. Good enough is good enough. Once you have your part as well as it's going to get, you can take the remaining hair and secure it with an elastic just to make sure it doesn't get caught up in your new style. So for this one, we are working in horizontal sections. And an Emery running around break, and once again with those shoes. I kind of twirled the bottom part out of the way just so it didn't try and combine with the top part, because I am going to be working with braids in this style. Braiding is something that we have just recently been able to do with Emery's hair because of how short it was for a long period of time. So you see I am sectioning that first top section into 3 ponytails once again, and those ponytails will turn into braids. And stopping for some head kisses. There's my second ponytail. My part got a little ruined, so I'm just touching it up as needed. And there is my third ponytail. You can see they're not perfect. This one is definitely a little bit smaller than the other ones, but that's okay. Also, I know I have a horrible habit of holding the comb in my teeth so I don't lose it, but I need to work on that. So here I am starting on these braided sections. I'm taking this one farthest to the left and turning that into its own braid and securing the end with an elastic. Now when I get to the second piece, this middle ponytail, I'm going to split it in two and actually create two braids out of that one ponytail. So here I am braiding half of that that middle ponytail. And once I am done, I am going to include it into a new section in the back. Kind of like our sideways hairstyle, except working horizontally instead of vertically. So I'm taking another slice of this back piece and including my two braids that I've already done into one ponytail. I did slide off the elastic from that first braid while I was doing this. I had only included it just to make sure that it wasn't unbraiding as I moved on. So once again, I have a little V shape on the side here, except this time with braids and some forehead kisses. Then I'll be moving on to the next braided sections. Turning the remaining two pieces of hair, two little ponytails, the entire third section and half of that middle section. I'm going to be braiding those and then combining them with my last section in the back here. And then just turning that into a little ponytail. Now from there, you can really finish off the hairstyle any way you want. You can turn it into a ponytail, you can split into pigtails, but I decided to take those two pieces and turn them into a little braid down the back of her hair. Like I said, we've only recently been able to get into braiding with Emery's hair, so I'm having a field day with those. And obviously securing the very end with an elastic. You could add any accessories that you want, bows, more spiders for Halloween, anything that you can think of. Now I'm just fluffing out her curls because they really are the most adorable things ever in the world to me. And that is the end of our fifth hairstyle.
Those are my hairstyles. See you for watching.
What else should they do?
Blah, blah, blah.
Should they subscribe?
Yeah.
And who are we?
Emily.
The...
Egan family.
We're the Egan family. Yeah, and you should subscribe to see more videos like this, huh? Of Cuckoo Emery and her cutie brother and her sweetie sister.
So, if you like Emily, comment down below. If you like Emily, like her hairstyle, guys.
Yeah, she says if you like
In the next video.
Emery says if you like her hairstyle, you should comment down below and we'll see you in the next video. Bye! What does Bubba say?
Bye.
Does he say peace?
Peace, baby.
Peace, matey.